Whoa. You mean Malika Andrews finally decided to do her job? All right. Let's hear it. Malika Andrews.
News now that surfaced late last week. The league is looking into allegations that Thunder guard Josh Giddey had an improper relationship with an underage girl. In a since deleted post, an anonymous social media user claimed a girl who was seen with Giddey in videos and images, some of which include explicit captions, was a junior in high school at the time. Giddey, who is 21, he declined to comment on Friday, and despite the serious allegations, Giddey is yet to miss a game this season. Thunder coach Mark Daigneault, he said he will continue to be in the lineup, saying, quote, "Just with the information we have at this point, that is the decision we've made. It's obviously a league matter at this point, and the ball is in their court on that." Now, a league spokesperson told me this morning that the NBA is still in the process of gathering information, and we will continue to update this story as the news develops. NBA Today will be back.
And that was it. Mm, mm, mm. Very short, very sweet, to the point. Wow. You could hold your breath longer than that. M.A. Udoka had about a whole series. It was like every day the new M.A. Udoka situation. Here, they handled this with kid gloves, didn't they? They barely said a word. I mean, I don't even think that was a minute. You could put that on a YouTube short. Matter of fact, I might throw that on a YouTube short. That's how quick it was. And they went away from it and didn't go back to it. So they can silence all the people that says, y'all didn't speak on it. They had all day Friday to talk about it. And they went on there and did a show and didn't even bring it up. And this caused black folks to be enraged. Because if Josh Giddey was Josh Jackson, we know how this would have went. If that was Josh Jenkins, 21 with a 17-year-old. How dare Josh Jenkins? He's an animal. That is a kid. That's a minor. Get Josh Jackson. Josh Jackson had to explain himself at a podium. He will be suspended until further notice. You mean to tell me Kyrie Irving, who didn't commit a crime, didn't do anything illegal, was sent home and suspended and forced to apologize when he never even broke the law for retweeting something on Twitter? He's suspended from the NBA. But Josh Giddey is allowed to play and they're fighting for his right to play. This is a league matter. And I'm going to put him in the lineup no matter what. And people don't think there's privilege. Oh man, make it make sense, people. Make it make sense. I don't understand. Why are people this blind? It's clear to see that there's favoritism. This guy is our Euro guy. We can't have our Euro guy getting caught up in anything. So we'll clean this up. The investigation will detain that they don't have a relationship, and then everybody's going to move forward. Even though he probably didn't took that little thing to Pound Town, you're never going to hear anything else about it. Except for it's done and done, and when she's 18, you can go ahead and bang her brains out. So just wait a couple more months, then you can go ahead back to banging her. But as of right now, we're going to investigate and say, we've investigated that nothing improper has happened. And we're moving on. And that'll be that. So that's how they're going to sweep this under the rug. Then when she's 18 in a couple of more months, he can go take it right back to Pound Town. He's 21, she's 17. So, say what you want. He likes them young. Oh, a lot of people be, man, that's some bull, man. You know how them girls was in high school dating those college boys, man. They've always been like that. I knew sophomores that was dating guys in college. So, I mean, yeah, it was girls I knew in high school like that. But the thing is, with people being outraged about it, I'm not really outraged. That's her between her family and him to be outraged. The league and everybody else. He's risk losing a $40 million shoe contract he got, a sponsorship deal he got 40 million in that just on the table. Well, you got to understand something. When you're listening to this, you got to know what type of person you're dealing with. So Malika Andrews did another egregious job because this should have been addressed on Friday. You should have at least mentioned it. And the damn show should have deserved more than 30 seconds. Or however many seconds you made it. Just saying, oh, they're investigating because you couldn't help but to talk about M.A. Udoka not on one show. You did 2 shows, 3 shows, 4 shows, 5 shows. Kyrie Irving every single day. And all these other shows can talk about Josh Giddey. They can ask Josh Giddey questions. They even asked Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren's like, that's not my business. Like, that's some personal stuff that's not my business. So I appreciate that people have stepped up in this situation and decided that this is the way to go. I appreciate people have stepped up and decided that this should be seen. Everybody in here should know what time it is. I'm proud that y'all are standing up and saying, hey, calling it out. You ain't going to be able to do that. Because believe me, they wasn't going to say anything. If y'all didn't open y'all mouth and start talking, this would have been swept under the rug too. They wouldn't have even mentioned it. They were forced to address it today. You know how many people was waiting on them to say something? I didn't say one thing really. I didn't make one video. I was waiting for Malika Andrews to have to address it. I'm like, oh, she's trying to wait me out. Because I want you to address it before I open my mouth. Oh, yeah. We want you to address it. And it wouldn't be all this pressure if there was diversity in your media coverage. You always seem to pounce on an African American male. That's because you're nothing but a puppet. And that is exactly what we got from Dez Bryant, and it pertains to you. Puppet lady. She said, you went out your way to crucify Brandon Miller on draft day over something he didn't even do. Why haven't you said nothing about Josh Giddey? I advise you not to make this a black or white thing. Your parents really raised you wrong, and just because you went to a private school doesn't make you better. You appeal, and I know you're kind. You're just a puppet. I don't know how a former or current NBA player could sit there across from you and look at you with some kind of respect. Exactly. Industry plant. Industry plant. So there were plenty of other players who have had things happen to them that were white, that were never brought up on draft night, that was surrounding them. That's a moment their families are going to remember for the rest of their life. And Brandon Miller, who had nothing to do with that situation, there was an investigation into it. Nobody at home was sitting there thinking about him and the incident that didn't have anything to do with him. Why would you bring it up on draft night? This kid has not been trouble at all, hasn't done anything wrong. He's been playing in the NBA, he's been doing his thing, and from what the people could see, this is just another moment to prove it is what it is. I'm happy. I'm really happy all this came to the forefront. Straight up. Because if it didn't, would we have heard anything about it? Probably not. I'm going to go with not. And look at her track record. Is anybody going to talk about her drinking hand sanitizer? When's she going to talk about that? Tell us that story. I'm quite sure everybody want to know when you was up there drinking hand sanitizer at a crazy house out there in Utah. Tell us about Malika Andrews, crazy house woman, drinking hand sanitizer. Got some Perel? Got that Perel for you. Out there getting drunk on hand sanitizer. Tell us about that woman who was sleeping with everybody, promiscuous, that your family sent you to a nut house. Tell us about that Malika Andrews, the troublemaker. And how did you qualify again to get this job? To sit there in that seat you're in right now and reporting on sports? How did you get qualified for that? The way I look at things is Mm-mm. Now, obviously, these situations are what they call sensitive. I'm just not sensitive to the situation. I think Malika Andrews should be demoted. But because she's part of the LeBron James media train, to spread this false propaganda throughout the entertainment industry, this is what you're stuck with. So good luck with that. It's your boy Sino, and I'm out.